day trophy, Oulton Park, starting off at Brands Hatch, packed up the thing at the Wolf Motorsport unit. Mini's ready to go. We're testing in the afternoon today, so we didn't have to get up at 2 in the morning. We just had to get up at 6 to make it there for 12. Let's go. We've made it to Oulton Park after 5 hours of pain sitting next to those two. Now we're here, we're set up, ready to test for the afternoon. Let me give you a quick tour of our facilities. This is the race car. This is hospitality. Is it yeah. And this is the team. Right, let's get into our practice session at Oulton Park. Going into turn 1, down into 3rd gear. As I turn in, you can see the rear end hopping and the front getting away from me a little bit. Careful of the track limit on the exit of the corner. As we dip into Cascades, one of my favourite corners. Again, down a gear, get the front in, the car hops a little bit, but you want to be on the power as soon as possible for the long run down into Shell Oil. Not sure the name of this corner, but one of the scariest corners of the track. Looks fairly easy, but you don't want to take too much speed into there. Down into 2nd gear for Shell Oils, rolling more speed than you think, serious camber there helping you round the corner. Back up into the 3rd on the exit as we head towards the first chicane, Britons. Round this little king, hard on the brakes, into 2nd gear, use a bit of curb, and take the piss there, use a bit more curb. Heading into the Nickelbrook chicane, again, fantastic set of corners. Down into 2nd gear, roll some good speed in, but set yourself up for the 2nd one, and most importantly, you want to get a good exit out the 3rd corner because the run up the hill is crucial. Again, setting yourself up for the blind Druids corner. Little dab on the brakes, off the brake, rear gets a bit loose, and then you want to pick the power up as soon as possible. Hopefully there's not a road going mini in your way. Heading into the last corner, into 2nd gear, careful not to understeer but still roll some good speed on the power early, careful of track limits. And that is a lap of Oulton Park. Now you can listen to me pretend to know what I'm talking about with the lads. It was good early on in the session, so like you go out and you're like, oh, okay, and then you kind of, when the tyre gets heat in it, you really feel that understeer. And a lot of these corners like Shell Oils, you put so much lock in it, and you do lock up a little bit the fronts when you're going down the gear. So the brakes are fantastic. Jump on the brakes, so like last corner for instance, jump the brakes into 3rd, and then when you pull 2nd, you kind of feel the fronts locking a little bit, and then you're like, go, if you're gentle with the wheel, it likes you. As soon as you're like, right, lock, it's then off. I don't want to chase something that's not attainable, you know? Like if anything, I'd say round here is a confidence circuit. I'd rather have a little bit of understeer and settle the rear end down a little bit more. I had a bit more confidence early on the wetter setup, but the front did feel better that time round. It's just like when you come in and you know there's cars going 4 or 5 seconds a lap quicker than you, you're like, oh, there must be something, but realistically, there's not a fix we can make to go 5 seconds quicker.
Another read.
Time for Chris to get suited and booted for his go. Lads just checking over the car, maybe softening off the rear a tad, get him strapped in, and away he goes. What happened?
I just went off, coming out of Shell Oil.
Coming out of Shell Oil?
Yeah.
So was it's not loose then why you went off, it's just literally an understeer thing?
Yeah. It definitely feels like through the first stuff, I feel loose. It's like, I feel so light.
Yeah, well what we'll do, get a gauge with this, and then we'll probably soften up the rear a bit.
Is he under high speed, gentle corner?
As you can tell from Sam's cheeky smile there, he's not the biggest fan of being filmed, and neither's Jake to be fair. Both of these two would downright refuse to speak or be in any of my footage. They'd often hide. I even had to resort to following them round trying to catch them on camera. What the f***? Testing done. We're a little bit off the boil at the moment, but we're a little bit of an underdog in this car, so I'm hoping with the fresh cakes these guys are putting on now that we'll be a little bit more competitive tomorrow. Let's go. Race day, here we go. Tyres on the car and a few setup tweaks. We're now checking the comms, so we have a radio in the car. which links into our crash helmets in our ears. So between me and Chris can chat to each other while we're going around to make sure we hit the pit stops on the head and don't lose any time. And we're just checking that now because half the time it fails and we have to do the signal over the pit board. Getting the transponder hooked up to the car as far forward as you can. Here we go then, leaving the assembly area, heading out onto the circuit, straight into the green flag lap. Getting as much heat into the tyres as you can. You really want to throw the car about, especially in a front wheel drive. It's more important to have heat in the rear of the car than the front. The fronts will heat up immediately, especially on this cut slick. There we go, race start. Absolutely shit race start there. Lost a couple of positions into turn one. A little bit hesitant into the corner as I've seen one of the BMs heading off the grass down to the M6. Got a good run on the Civic in front. Kind of feinted a move to the inside, not really committing to it, and he gave me more than enough room, so I didn't need a second invitation to go through. Going into shell oils a few laps later, I tried to get it into second and completely missed. Couldn't get it into gear, put it into fourth, now back into second. Probably just about 5 seconds there. What an absolute idiot. Some of the straight line speed showing there. BM has come back from the M6 and decided to overtake me. We can keep up through the corners, just lacking a little bit in the straight lines. Here we go, pitting. I'm out the car as quick as possible. Chris in. There's a minimum 2-minute stop, so we've got a little bit of time to make sure his belts are tight and he's prepped and ready to go. Chris leaves the pits in about P5. Absolutely nailed the pit stop here. 2 minutes 0.3. So we jumped a few positions in the pits, came out P3. Chris chased down second to overtake the Porsche, and that was a brilliant P2. Good job.
I didn't realise that BM Class C. I thought
Taking the plaudits from the crowd and some random owl. Somehow we finished second place in that last TDT race. When we started, I didn't really think we had much pace. I have no idea we finished second. A banging pit stop by Jake and Sam. And Chris drove a brilliant race. Say hello, Chris. Not quite camera ready. One race to go in about an hour. Not sure where we're starting. I think 5th. Again, we're not the most competitive in lap times, but our strategy has been pretty good so far. The lads are fueling the car, tyre pressures, soften off the rear a bit now the tyres are a little bit old, and we go again. After such a good result, I told the lads not to bother changing the tyres or clean the car. But now the car's prepped. Chris is starting this race. Let's go. Chris gets a much better start than I did and is actually up alongside the Clio. You have to excuse my blown out GoPro. We'll have to upgrade that for the next one. Chris held position well. Overtook a couple of cars. I think we started 5th. Into the pits. Time for me to jump in this time. Belts on. We came in under a safety car, so again we got out just behind the leader. 2 minutes 0.2 I think this time, and it's still under safety car conditions here, and the green flag came out at the end of the lap, so that's the leader in front, no one behind me. 20 minutes to go. This is going to be brilliant. Clio's got a bit of the legs on us, but while they're still finding confidence, we can monster him under the brakes and get a good run out on turn 1. He kind of covers middle of the road well. I don't want to do anything too silly. Going into Cascades on this lap, I noticed the car cuts now. Didn't really know what to think. I thought it might have been a fuel surge, so keep calm and carry on. Again, still thinking about trying to nick that lead, and then ECU fault, completely cut the engine, so what an absolute bummer.
I'm done. ECU fault, it's just completely died.
I pulled over by Britain's where I managed to watch the last 20 minutes of the race.
Yeah.
And then I slipstreamed a lorry all the way back. Got as far as the assembly area, then the lads had to push. I obviously did the hard bit, and then get out, had to shove it into the trailer as we couldn't start the engine. Sad end to the day. We were actually running really well. Chris was running in about 5th position, 4th in class. We had a mega pit stop, came out P2 overall, behind the leader. I think we had the pace to get round the Clio, and then I was going through Cascades and it cut, and then a bit later in the lap it cut again, and then I had a big ECU fault on the dash, and then I pulled over at Britain's, watched the rest of the race as a spectator. It was a bit of a bummer because I think we would have at least had P2 in the bag. Boys did fantastic, as did Chris. We've loaded up the van and we're back to Brands Hatch.